Lately, I've been dealing with a little bit of writer's block when it comes to making music. So for today's video, I want to try an experiment and create a generative track using the circuit tracks and its per step randomization, and then chop that sequence or sample up using the SP404 and seeing if using this method, I can work around some of this writer's block and hopefully get inspired by this sound and be able to expand upon it with some live instruments. And if you're interested in any of the gear that I'm using in this video, there are affiliate links in the description. So making generative music for me has been a great way to work around some writer's block. But today I want to see just how far we can go with this concept. So let's find out. We've got these circuit tracks, and plugged into it is the Behringer MS1. And then I've got these circuit tracks sending a stereo signal into the SP404. So let me go over quickly how I do generative soundscapes on the circuit. And that's all about probability and per step randomness. So first of all, we're gonna go to the pattern settings and change the direction of the pattern. So if you do it this way, the pattern just plays forward. If you do it this way, the pattern runs backwards. If you do it on the third, the pattern runs forward, then backwards. But for generative sounds, the perfect one is this fourth one, random. So it just bounces all over the place. We're also then gonna slow down the pattern so we don't have to make a second page to make it 32 steps. We'll just keep it 16 steps, but we'll slow it down quite drastically so this plays really slow and holds each note. Also drop the tempo. Let's do 96 and see how that sounds. So we'll go back to that. First, we need to get some notes into every step. So first, I'm gonna choose a scale. Let's do a minor. Let's do F sharp. I like these notes, so I think we're gonna program these notes in. And then I like to also put some octaves. So now we've got every step filled out. And this is on the MS1. Doesn't sound that amazing yet, but what we're gonna do is go into probability, and this is per step. So now we can just trigger, we'll do the top ones about 50% of the time, and then these high-pitched ones much less. Now if we hit play, now we're starting to get somewhere. The other thing we need to adjust is the gate of each one. We want to make these much longer so that since they're going to sustain, they hold that note. Because certain steps may play but they won't trigger. So we want that note to hold. And that's what changing this gate does. Now let's get a little reverb. Now, on top of that, let's add an arpeggio using the circuit. Alright, and I'm gonna sidechain this MIDI arc that we made. Add some delay, maybe just a hint of reverb. Gonna change the decay a little bit. And let's randomize that a little bit. Just have it play every so often. Alright, so I really like what the circuit track sounds like as is, but I'm gonna record each of these sounds separately into the SP, but I'm also gonna record a long sample of all these parts playing together, because what I think I'm gonna do is try chopping that up and seeing what happens. So let's get these into the SP. I'm gonna shift the cameras around a little bit, and then we'll do just that, chop everything up and see what we've got. So I have one that combined everything, and I'm thinking I might be able to make some chops from that. I have this drum on its own. I have the lead on its own. Of course it's generative, so it sounds different than the other one I just played. I've got the bass. I've got this really cool ARP, I'm really digging that. And then I did another run of that generative sound, but with some 404 vinyl sim and some SX reverb. Then I dropped it down an octave, so it's pretty cool. Alright, so what I would like is some more drums. Actually, I think one thing I'm gonna do real quick, and this is using something that I love from the 3.0 update of the SP. I'm gonna move to another project of mine where I have some drum samples. Yeah, we'll take this one, and we're gonna move it over to, I believe it was project 11. We'll put it on F. There we go. I love that feature. So I just moved a drum sample from project 12 into project 11 without having to use skip back or anything like that. Now, let's chop this drum loop up real quick. All right, we'll get this drum. Let's copy that over to here. And then we're also going to go to the envelope. We've got something that should work. Now let's go back to here, and we're gonna chop this one up a little bit. I'm actually gonna move this over to B because we're gonna do quite a few chops. So let's go to chop, shift chop. Let's just do auto mark. Yeah, let's do a division of 8. That sounds cool. Let's fix the envelope. So if you go to shift envelope, you can change the attack release of each thing. I'm not sure if you can change it at all at once, but that's fine. We'll just go through it. I like that. Now we can pattern sequence. So let's get a pattern. We'll do 4 bars and we'll do 96 BPM. There we go. All right, and we can take this single note and just turn it into a single one shot. And then if we just truncate that and then go to envelope. Now if we go to chromatic and switch to minor, let's run that. We just need to get a snare or something. Making some ghost notes on the snare now. Very low velocity. There we go. Now let's see what we've got on mastering. So we got a free slot on the mastering. Let's do equalizer. So that turned out pretty different than what I anticipated, almost into early Apexman territory or something like that. But I suppose that's the beauty of this type of workflow. You never know what's going to come out of the generative process, and typically using that as a basis will lead to sounds and workflows you'd never imagine. I wouldn't typically take a lead and chop it up into a bunch of different smaller segments and then resequence it. That's exactly what we did today, and it's a great way to get out of your existing workflows, try something new, but also if you're feeling stuck, I hope you give it a try, because it really will make you think in a different way and most likely will inspire some new creative workflows. If you want to check out any of these sounds for yourself and see what you can come up with, they are available on a new sample pack on my website, sunwarper.com. It's called Generative Dreams, and it features some noise drums, some sonic textures, dusty sounds, as well as all of these sounds that we made today. So I hope you check it out, and if you want to see how I perform these songs live on my SP Circuit tracks and even my phone, check out this playlist next.